going to do the final step in our brand process, and we're going to create a 3D mock-up of the can and put the label that you've created on there. So I provided this template for you in Teams, and you can download this template to your computer to start out with. I want you to open it up in Illustrator. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to File and Place. Sorry, I've got a locked layer. All right, there we go. Go to File and Place and find the label that you've created and place that label in this area. So make sure it's in this area so it is the correct size. So I already had input mine in there, so I'm going to have that here. When you get your document, you'll have the can template layer and the label template layer. Make sure both of these are locked, and then you add the layer for your label, and then your label will be in this area here. Select the label, and then I want you to go to Window, and you are going to go to Symbols. So go down, scroll down till you find Symbols, and here's our symbol panel. Next, you're going to drag your label. You're going to drag it into the symbol area. You're going to create a new symbol. You can name it. You can name it your the name of your brand. And you want to change the movie clip to graphic and say OK. Now we'll have our symbol here created in the symbol panel. Next, let's go back to our layer panel. Layer panel is right here, or you can go to Windows and Open. I want you to create a new layer and title this layer 3D Can. We can lock the label layer if we want to, and then make sure that we have this one blue. I'm going to go to my zoom tool and zoom into the can template over here. What we need to do is we need to make sure that there is no fill, so make sure that fill box is on top and say none. With the stroke color, we can choose one of our brand colors. So we can go ahead, and you have the hex code for that. I just use the eyedropper tool. Double click on here. You can put in your hex codes for the brand color you want, especially if it's not on your label. So we have no fill and the stroke the color that we want. Next, we're going to go to our pen tool and start in the center of this can, and the best you can, I want you to draw out this can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just do the best you can with the pen tool. And remember we started halfway over on the top, not completely over. So as we're going around and we're tracing, clicking and dragging on the curves, just clicking for the straight edges. Once we get to the half on the bottom, we're going to hold down Alt on your keyboard and click, and so that it ends this shape. So I'm going to turn off everything so you can see what we have here. Just the can length. So we've got this going on. This is our can. I'm not sure if I like this. I think I went up a little bit too high here, so I'm going to take this and bring it down with the direct selection tool. And there's our half of our can that we built. Going back to the selection tool, make sure that this is selected. We're going to go up to Effects, 3D, Revolve, and Preview was already checked here, so you can already get an idea of what's going on with our can. Right here we can change the position and the direction of that can. We can see how the light's hitting that. There's a lot of controls. You can control some of the shading and everything as you go, but we'll just stick with the defaults for right now. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the map art, and you can see these kind of like a graph formed on the top of my can. If I change those options up here, I'm changing the different sections. So essentially you can design this entire can. Now this first option show me the entire thing. I believe this first one is on the inside of the can, so I'm going to keep going and get to the outside of the can. Now I believe we're on the outside of the can. And we're going to go to the top where it says symbol, select, and we're going to pick that one that we imported, Freeze 5. So there's our label on our can. We can move it around if we needed to. Decide where you want that to go in your design. We can scale it to fit. And we do want to shade the artwork. So this will bring those highlights and shades out. Say OK. And now when we turn this axis, we can see that the label goes completely around our can. So what I want you to do to finalize this is you're going to say OK with the front of your label in the front. And I'm going to go View, Fit All in Window. What I want you to do first is I want you to save this as a JPEG. So File, Export, Export As. We're going to export it as a JPEG. Use Artboard, and with your first name underscore packaging, and export it. Then I want you to go back over here. We are going to look on our Properties panel. It says 3D Revolve mapped right here. So we can double click on here, bring this window back up, and what I want you to do is I want you to turn the axis so we get the back of the can. Say OK. And then I once again want you to export it as a JPEG again, and this time you would say your first name underscore packaging and back. So you have two options to turn in for grading with the front of your can designed and the back of your can design. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. I'm super excited about this project. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.